What's up, B? Almost lost my voice. All right. So this is summer '06. Um, uh, my first summer, my boy just learned how to take care of me. His brother learned how to take care of me. So I had two people to learn how to take care of me. And before my accident, um, I knew this kid. Oh my goodness, he was very young, and I don't remember. I remember how I met him before my accident, but I don't remember how I was reintroduced to this kid. But this kid was very. He had a smart mouth. Like he just. Oh my goodness, he got on my nerves. He got on everybody's nerves, But he was just a funny guy. But before I get into that, I'm gonna tell some of the summer stories that I remember. So my boy, when he first learned how to take care of me, and we went out for our first summer, I remember when we were first out, the very first few days. I remember I told him that I get hot, and he didn't understand what I meant when I told him I get hot. And one day we're strolling through, and then we're in an area we're not supposed to be in. So I'm really, trying to be focusing, but because where I'm from, there's certain areas that people could go to and people can't go to, especially if you're affiliated with certain people. If you're not affiliated with nobody, then you can go wherever you want. But most people are affiliated with some type of gangs where I'm from. And back in my day, if you're affiliated with some type of gang, you can't go to certain areas. So we were in an area we weren't supposed to be in, and it was hot. So I'm trying to focus, and all I remember is I was telling them that I was hot, but I wasn't sick yet. Like I explained to you guys earlier, um, when I got hot the first time, I was with my dad. It was my first outing out, and I was sitting by the grill, and that's when I realized that my body, because the hospital explained to me that everybody's different when they become a quadriplegic. There's difference between paraplegics and quadriplegics, and I'm a quadriplegic, and quadriplegics, our nervous system gets affected, and because our nervous system gets affected, you could you're you could be hot when it's cold, or you could be cold when it's hot. And most body people, their bodies don't regulate temperature, so because of that, you have to be careful. We're sensitive, most of us. Some people could are just fine. Um, so anyways, um, I remember I try to explain to him, as deep as I can, as much as I can, about when I get hot, but he wasn't understanding. So I was saying I was hot, and I remembered what happened when I was with my dad and my mom, and at the cookout when we are having the cookout. So um, I guess I should have explained that more to him, and because all I remember is I was explaining to him, "Hey man, I'm hot, I'm hot," and he just kept saying like, "Oh yeah, me too, me too." And then that's when I was like, "No, bro, I'm hot. Like I feel like I'm dying." Oh, and that's another thing. When I do get to the point where I'm overheating, the only thing I could relate it to is like a battery. And when your battery is draining, you just see the bar go down. So I feel like that's what it's like for me. I feel like I'm going from 100% to zero, and you gotta get me into a safe space before I get to zero, or I'm gonna pass out. I only passed out once in my life, or I only got overheated once in my life, and that's later on. So, anyways, so the first few times I got hot, this is it. These are the first few times to let me know the seriousness of the condition of me being too hot. I'm in the chair. I'm telling them like, man, I'm hot, bro. I'm hot. And he was like, yeah, 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 okay, okay. He's pushing me. And that's another thing. He was crazy with me in my chair. You know, he used to push me so fast. He used to push me uh way ahead, and he would walk up and then catch up and then push me again and then walk up. He was crazy with me. The way he walked, he was very fast. We were everywhere. We walked everywhere. Anyways, so like I said, the beginning of my accident. So I when he finally understood is when I you know, I couldn't even hold my head up anymore. That's how much energy I lost. Like the energy to hold my head up was gone. So I just remember I just dropped my head and I was like, bro, I'm hot, man. Like you gotta get me cool. You know, all I remember is he was like, hold yourself up. And I tried to put my hands on my knees as best as I can, but it was to me, it was like using energy, and something told me to reserve what little energy you have. So like I said, I just put my head down, and it was so scary. Like imagine just having no energy and like you're about to pass out. I don't know why it feels like to me like I'm about to die. I don't know, and I don't know what it's like to. I don't know. Anyway, so um, I'm like, yo, man, I ain't got no energy, you know. So he pops me on his wheel. He runs with me, and there's this older gentleman watering the grass, and we weren't no bullies or nothing. We weren't like no like gangbangers like that would bully anybody. Like that's not us. That wasn't the gang I was affiliated with either. Like if anything, I remember before my accident, if we were on the block, we used to help people. You know, like and the older guys told us, you know, I remember there was this lady who was throwing out her trash, and we were just sitting on the porch, and you know, one of the older guys yelled at the guys, was like, "Hey man, why y'all just sitting on the porch watching that lady just take out the trash? Go help her." And he gets up, no questions asked, and he helps the older lady. She doesn't get scared or nothing. She's used to it by what I could tell. And he throws out the trash and he comes back. And then that's when the older guy teaches us. He goes, "You know why you take care of the older people in your neighborhood?" And we were like, "Why?" And he was like, "Because if you take care of them, they'll take care of you." And sure enough, I remember one time, the cops came around. My bad to get into a story before my accident, but anyways, I remember one time before, or I remember a cop pulled us over, and they always used to mess with us. They always used to, like be mean and stuff, and just talk stuff to us. And they knew who certain guys were, and if they saw those certain guys, they're for sure pulling over and talking smack and searching them. And if you're with them, you got to deal with it also. So I remember one time the cops came, and they pulled it. They had everybody on the cop car, and there was these older couple walking out, and you know, the cops were like, "Aren't these guys a menace to society? Like, don't you wish these guys weren't around and stuff like that?" And then that's when the older couple was like, "Honestly, I'm grateful they're around." And the cop was like, "What? Why would you say that?" And then that's when the older couple was like, "If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have certain things done. Like our trash gets thrown away when they see us struggling with our trash. Um, one of those guys does my lawn. I didn't know that. One of those guys does my lawn. Um, and sometimes he doesn't even accept the money. And the other guy, this and that, and I'm like, wow, cool. So the cops were like just amazed, and I was too. So, anyways, back to it. So when my friend snatched up because I was hot, and he had me on a wheelie, and he explained to the well, he didn't explain. My friend saw me, he just reacted. So when this guy was watering the grass, and when he was watering the grass, my friend snatched He runs up and he was like, spray my friend. He's saying spray my friend as we're running up, but the guy's like, where I'm from, it's bad. There's a lot of bad places where I'm from. So, he probably didn't know. So he was like, get off my property, before as we're running up, like go away, get away, whatever the situation. And that's when my friend was like, spray him, spray my friend, spray my friend. He's high, he's high, he's high. And then that's when the older gentleman, wasn't understanding and just kept yelling at us to get away. And when my friend finally got close to the gentleman, my friend put me down and he snatched the water hose out the guy's hand. And at first, the older gentleman was gonna, I don't know what he was gonna do. But my friend, thank goodness, he started spraying me. And as he started spraying me, he tells the older gentleman, like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, my friend is about to, I don't know what's going to happen if I don't get him cool. He looks like he's about to die or pass out. I'm sorry. I'm trying to help my friend. And the whole time he's spraying me. Thank God. Thank you, God, of course. And thank goodness. So I just remember I was hot. And that whenever I start to get cool, like I said, it's like a battery. So to me, because all I remember is I just had no energy and I don't know what's going on really. I'm hearing everything, you know what I'm saying? And trying to put everything together. And I just remember I had no energy and out of nowhere I'm getting energy and I'm starting to see everything. And when I start to get hot, it's like it happens in stages. I feel like I forgot the stages because thank goodness I've been taking care of myself for the last few years being out here. I usually get to an establishment that's extremely cold and I'll drink some cold water. And that usually does a trick. I have to sit in there, of course, for at least however amount until my body cools down. And I have to recline the whole way and use no energy and just sit and chill until, I get cool. Anyways, so I just remember my friend, he just spraying me. And I just remember when I finally got my energy, I'm just like, whoops, hey, wait, you know what I mean? Like, and he's like, no, like, I don't care, like, you know what I mean? And he just spraying me, and I was just like, bro, good. And he's like, I don't want to hear it. Like, he's like, bro, you almost died. I don't know, you look like you almost died. Like, what the heck is that? And I'm like, bro, you know what I mean? Like, now now we know. Like, I'm telling you, bro, when I say I'm hot, like, that's what it is. And he was like, don't worry, bro. Whenever you say you're hot, this is what's going to happen. Like, I'm going to get some water. I'm going to pour it on you. And that did become a thing for me back home, when I got hot. We would find some cold water and pour it on me, and I would drink it and pour it on me and drink it, and whatever the situation. So, I don't know. I feel like I had to explain that about my condition, for later stories. So, another one, I remember where I'm from. Uh, we always have I don't know about now, but we have a marina where I'm from. We're by Lake Michigan. So, we're by Lake Michigan. So, and Lake Michigan is pretty big. And there's a marina, and I'll never forget this one. This was such a beautiful day. Like, and I don't know why, don't judge me for what I'm about to tell you. My friend, I don't know if he came up with the idea or if I came up with the idea, but he was like, hey, bro, I think we should, we have a lot of uncles and stuff. You know how kids have uncles, you know what I mean? They're truly uncles, though. They are uncles. We are uncles because I'm an uncle, you know what I mean? And those are my nieces and nephews. Everybody who calls me uncle are for sure my niece and nephew. So, my friend goes, hey, bro, you know how we got, and actually I used to do this before my accident. Go up to an uncle like, hey, uncle, can I get $5? You know what I mean? This and that. My mom didn't give me no money today, and my mom sure did give me some money, and my mom would know. You know what I mean? I told my mom, I would tell my mom raised me not to lie to her. Me and my brother, lying was always worse for us, and she would always tell us that she would always find out, and my mom always found out the truth about whatever situation. So when I realized that, and whenever she found out the truth about whatever, I would always, if I got in trouble for something, I would of course get punished. Um, and my mom spanked me. It wasn't no timeout, and I do not judge my mom for spanking me. I'm glad she spanked me. I don't know about my brother, um, but I know for me, in my history, I'm grateful for the spankings because it taught me discipline and it made me who I am. I feel like, anyways, and so I forgot what I was saying. So I always forget what I'm saying. Sometimes I need to start writing down what I'm doing. But I told you I like to go a cappella. So since I forgot what I'm saying, let me just go back to the marina. So I remember my boy was like, "Oh yeah, I used to tell my mom everything." So if I used to go to my uncles and ask them for money, and if my mom did give me money that day, I'll be like, "Mom, I saw Uncle so and so or Uncle so and so, and I asked him for money, and she'd be like, 'Well, I gave you money today,' and I'm like, 'I know, I just wanted more, blah blah blah.'" And she'd be like, "Wow, that's on them." And then because sometimes they'll talk smack to her, like, "Why didn't you give your son money today? He came up to me, he said he was hungry," and my mom would be like, "Fool, he played you, and blah blah blah." And she wouldn't lie to them either. My mom didn't. My mom wasn't a liar. Um, so, anyways, yeah, so I used to already do that. So we came up with this idea where if we ever went to somewhere and we used to see our uncles or our aunties or whatever the situation, we wouldn't be greedy about it. You know what I mean? We'd be like, "Hey, can we get $1 or two? And see how much we could round up at the end of the night." And man, the first time we did it, man, we came up with like $45. And you know what I mean? I don't sound like a lot, especially in today's money, but just imagine being, oh man, in '06, I was probably 14. Anyways, and just imagine being 14 and having $45. So, and we were smoking weed. So, of course, we're like, "Oh man, we're going to get some weed, we're gonna get some food, blah, blah, blah." Anyways, and oh man, I just remember. So, the marina is like the first outing, big outing I remember. Besides the second one, I'll get into and probably wrap up and get back to the summer stories of '06, next time. So I just remember being at the marina and my boy, when he learned how to take care of me, we were everywhere. And our first outing, I feel like, was that marina. I forgot how we got there, but you know what I mean? Somebody drove us there. And like I said, my boy was crazy with me. So he knew how to break down my chair quick. If anybody was to ever pull up and ask us, "Hey, y'all want to ride? Do you know how to? Can Joey get in the car? With his chair?" And my boy would be like, "Yup," and he knew how to break it down. If their trunk was full, he always found a way. He would put this piece, because my chair would collapse, break apart. Like one wheel, both wheels come off, the chair folds up, the leg rests come off. So you know what I mean? If the car was full, he'll figure it out. Always figured it out. This guy was crazy. So, anyway, so we're at the marina. I don't know who knows how we got there. And we knew a lot of girls. So, probably a girl drove us there or one of our family members. So, we're at the marina and it was dark. And it's the 4th of July, and they let us know what time they were going to let off the fireworks. And I just remember we're sitting there, we're waiting for the fireworks, and we're rolling around, we're seeing everybody. And it was so cool to see everybody. You know what I mean? Because, everybody's happy to see me and I'm happy to see everybody. Um, it was a beautiful feeling, a beautiful feeling. Just imagine, you know what I mean, fighting for your life. And when I was, like I explained, I was injured. I couldn't move at all. I was just laying on the bed especially the first month was rough. Just laying on the bed, unable to breathe on my own, getting the things stuck down my throat because they're suctioning and not able to move at all and watching movies and escaping into the movies and pretending I'm in the movie to escape reality. That's how, sad I feel like. And you know, so going from that and and then Shriners too, even though when you leave Shriners you miss it, but going from that and Shriners to, but once you get adjusted to being outside and being home, then you're adjusted to that. Like I feel like I'm an adapter, or me at least. Once I get adapted and used to something, then I'm used to that, and then I miss that until I get used to something else, and then when I leave that, I miss that. Anyways, if that makes any sense. So I'm at the marina. We're at the marina, and actually, I'll just wrap it up with this marina story and get back to the one I was going to tell y'all. Because the next one's going to be about the festival. Oh man, we have Mexican and Puerto Rican festivals every year. I don't know about now, but anyways, so we're at the marina, and I'm just, we're just seeing everybody, schoolmates, because we just obviously school just let out, and I'm seeing schoolmates and stuff like that, and I couldn't finish school because of that sore I got, and I told you guys about the big one, and I could put the tennis ball in my hip, that one. So, um, I just remember being at the marina and seeing everybody, being grateful, seeing family, seeing friends, and just being, And the next thing is we're by the water and we're seeing the water. And what's crazy is it was really dark. They turned off all the lights while they were about to pop the fireworks, and it's just dark, dark, dark. And I just remember before they turn off the lights, you could see the water and the lights and people and the reflections. But as soon as they turn off the lights, the water like just matched with the sky, and you couldn't really see no stars that night. So I just remember the water was just as dark as the sky, and I was like, wow. It's like I couldn't put the difference between the two. And now I know it is no difference because I saw videos of what it's like being on a cruise and out in the ocean, which I haven't been on, but I saw videos and it's pitch black, and I never fathomed that. I never thought about that. Like just wow. So, anyways, so I just remember like looking at the water, the lights turn off, and it just goes pitch black, and I'm like, what the? And I look at the sky, and I'm like, I don't know what the difference is between the water and the sky. Like, well, where am I? You know what I mean? Am I up there or down there? It looks the same until the next thing is, I don't know if they did a countdown to let us know when the fireworks were gonna go off, but the next thing is the firework. And then to mind you, we were like over there was like a bridge. So, we were walking, and then my boy went over the bridge, and I got so terrified because I don't like being over, especially after my accident. You know what I mean? I don't like being over on bridges over water because I'm like, man, you know what I mean? We could. What happens if we fall in? I could die. So, anyways, so I just remember, um, like being on this bridge, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to die. You know what I mean? I don't want the bridge to collapse. Just crazy thoughts, anxiety. So, but as the fireworks, when I heard the bang, because I'm just staring at the water, just going back between, just being amazed, like how dark the both are. And the next thing is the fireworks. And when the fireworks went off, I think that's when I was staring at the water, thank goodness. And as I'm staring at the water, you just see poof and poof. And it was just so beautiful, just being able to see the fireworks in the sky and just looking at the water. And it looked the same. It was just so beautiful, just boom, and looking at and seeing the reflection in the water, like, wow. You know what I mean? And I'm just looking at my boy, and I'm just so thankful that he's given me this opportunity, and then I'm out here, and of course the God that he, gave me somebody to learn how to take care of me. Because he did everything mostly. He helped me go pee if I had an accident. He cleaned me up, and a lot of other guys did too. I'll get to that later on. Um, he did everything that my mom would do except. So I don't know if I explained the bowel program, and that's pretty. That's helping. That's a lot. So I never wanted them to do that. So anyways, I'm just watching the fireworks. It was just so beautiful. And I just remember we got in the car when it ended. We said goodbye to everybody, and then we just who knows what we did with the money. We had a good time that night. You know what I mean? I could only imagine. We were young and bad. You know what I mean? And I used to smoke weed, and he did too. So that's probably where the money went. So, anyways, I'm gonna end this now because it's been. I don't want to go over. I told you guys my time limit. So, like I said, just telling my story. I hope people are listening. One person, if I could just help one person, that's all I care about. If I can help a million, that would be amazing too. So, anyways, anybody ever hears this and they like what they hear, you feel free to share it. Feel free to like it. And thank you for anybody listening. And be ready for more summer stories because now we're in '06 of my story, and it's the summertime of '06.